My name is Rob Townsend. I'm the director of a new enterprise initiative funded by the John Templeton Foundation. The John Templeton Foundation is very interested in enterprise and freedom. The main goal of the project is to understand the relationship between wealth creation through entrepreneurship and the reduction in poverty. The Thai Family Research Project started, ironically, with a study of medieval villages. Households in medieval England suffered from a variety of risks and adverse shocks, such as pests, hailstorm, crop disease, and so on. They coped with this by not putting all their eggs in one basket. Their land holdings were spread out about the entire village area, so that if one part of the village suffered damage, there would be land that would be on high ground, so to speak. So the study started with thinking about medieval villages as a way to allocate risk. Of course, there are limits in the ability to interview dead Englishmen, so we naturally got interested in moving to contemporary economies. Villages in poor areas of rural India look a lot like medieval England even today. The climate is different, but the idea is the same. They suffer from adverse shocks. The India village sample was relatively small. So I then moved to northern Thailand and did field research, which revealed that some villages were doing much better than others in terms of their institutions and market use in the allocation of risk, and that villages varied in their degree to which they were connected to the larger national economy. So at that point, it was clear that one needed to study not just villages one at a time, but study how villages were connected together into the regional and national economy. The research program is a survey which includes about 3,000 households in 192 villages, originally in 4 provinces. 2 of them relatively near to Bangkok and 2 in the rural part of the country in the northeast. It now spans 10 years and we continue forward. We go back to the same households every year, so we have panel data on income, consumption, and so essentially we can see all the ways that households use to smooth consumption, keep labor supply steady, all the ways in which they can do investment, and all their occupation choices. It is by now the longest lasting and most in-depth survey of any kind in a developing economy. The survey has revealed a lot of things about the Thai economy. So for example, poverty has decreased rather dramatically. In fact, using additional historical data, we can show that poverty has decreased from something like 60% of the population to under 10% of the population, a trend which continues. Households are making a lot of transitions. They used to be primarily in rice agriculture. They move out of that into wage labor. They set up businesses. We've also shown that the growth of the macroeconomy is related to entrepreneurship, facilitated by increased intermediation. And finally, we've shown that certain kinds of interventions have the potential to make a very big difference in the welfare of households and in the national level income. So for example, roads matter. We can show that households who live near to major highways and the intersection of highways and towns are much more likely to be running businesses. In fact, with the models that we estimate based on the historical data, we can change policies, even big policies. In one experiment, we destroyed the old roads and put in new roads and showed that the number of entrepreneurs increases about 1% for every 10 kilometers they are nearer to a major road. Those are very high numbers when you consider that the average fraction of households running businesses is as low as 3 or 4%. The research in Thailand does provide some insights about other economies, other emerging market economies. We are developing a new way of looking at an economy as something that's built up at the individual level and added to become the regional and national level. Ironically, much of economics is partitioned into subfields. We take sort of an overall general equilibrium approach, a holistic approach to thinking about an economy as a coherent sum of its individual parts. And this is somewhat novel. Our ultimate goal is to place entrepreneurs at the center, not only the way in which they increase their own net worth, but how the process of being entrepreneurial can lead to development of the entire economy and reduce poverty.